Hey there folks, John here with Through My Lens, and today I'm coming to you with a knife review. Today we're going to be looking at the Shirogorov Spring California Custom Knife Show Gen 3 Hottie. Now, so far in 2022, we've seen a couple of limited edition showpieces that have come out from Shirogorov. They are limited edition versions of the new Gen 3 Hottie. Now, the first limited edition Hottie from Shirogorov was made for the 2022 Las Vegas Custom Knife Show. You can check out my buddy's channel, mikomonday.sharp on YouTube, for a look at that slightly different version of this same knife, which was also limited to just 50 pieces. Now, for those who don't know, Recon One typically only sells these knives to ticket holders of the respective custom knife show for which the special edition knives are made, so they are not easy to get, and they only exist in very small quantities. In other words, expect to pay through the nose in the secondary market to obtain one of these knives. Now, the Spring California Custom Knife Show came after the Las Vegas show, and the show knife is slightly different. It has a bronze-colored high-tech poker chip style coin featuring the Shirogorov logo on one side and the distinctive Shirogorov pivot on the other side. Really neat. This version of the Hottie also features a really neat carbon fiber that's infused with bronze flecks in a bronze-colored backspacer. Get a little closer, and hopefully you can see the glistening bronze elements in the carbon fiber scale. It also comes with this Kova pouch for the knife that's made with a custom insert for the coin right here. So that's pretty nice. Finally, it does come with an authentication card with the serial number of the knife on the card. And it should be noted that the serial number does not appear on the knife. So here's the card for this knife. You can see it's for the California Custom Knife Show 2022, and you can see that this is number 44 of 50 in the series. Now, the Hottie is an interesting knife in the Shirogorov catalog. Last year, I bought the previous generation version, which is the Hottie R. I liked it more than I thought I would, and the only reason I sold it is because I thought, based on some knives that were released at the Arsenal Russian Custom Knife Show, that an updated version of the Hottie was imminently about to be released. However, almost a year later, really in the last few weeks, have we started to see regular production Gen 3 Hotties start to trickle out into the marketplace. Again, I'm not 100% sure if Gen 3 Hottie is the correct designation for these. That's kind of what they're being called by Recon One on their website. And of course, Recon One is currently sold out of the Gen 3 Hotties. The Las Vegas Custom Knife Show Hottie came with an M398 blade, but the Spring California Custom Knife Show version comes with a 3.7-inch blade made in S90V blade steel. Put that up to the camera, and hopefully you can see the blade marking there. That is pretty cool because S90V is, I believe, Sergei Shirogorov's favorite knife blade steel. Like all Hotties, the show side of this Gen 3 Hottie is carbon fiber that's black marbled and again infused with those subtle flecks of bronze. Now, recall that Hottie versions released at the 2021 Arsenal Russian show had the carbon fiber scales made by Fat Carbon, and those were pretty gorgeous. I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that these scales on this knife were produced by Carbon Plate. Now, the corners of the scale also feature some horizontal line milling, which is very similar to the same decoration applied to the presentation scale of the F95 R and L. I'll hold this a little closer, and hopefully you can see that decoration that's appearing in that corner as well as in this corner. There are some very fine little horizontal lines there that are incredibly detailed, and they must be incredibly difficult to mill. Now, like all the newest generation Shirogorovs, this Hottie features the largest diameter pivot screw, and it also features the reduced diameter screw to the rear section of the knife. For comparison, here is my F3R, and it's kind of difficult to tell, but this pivot is larger than this one. This is a custom one. Let me pull over here. Yeah, this is a better comparison. This is the F3NS, and you can see that the pivots are the same here. This one features the larger updated size. Now, the blade profile is of the more contemporary updated style that we've been seeing in the last couple of years on updated models, again like the F95 RNL and the F3NS. It has the fatter belly. I quite like it. Again, for a comparison, this is a better comparison. Here is the previous generation F3R. You can also see that I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but the finish is a little finer on this knife than on the previous RNL, or excuse me, F3R. This finish might be a little bit closer to what they put on custom division knives. But again, you can see that the new Hottie has the fatter belly. Now, the blade also features the updated wider spacing for the jimping that we're seeing on the updated knives. And as I've talked about in my previous Shiro reviews, I think this is aesthetically pleasing, but it lacks the functional traction provided by the jimping on the previous R generation knives, like the F3R. You can see that this one has much tighter jimping that I think is much grippier. Now, what's different for the Hottie, however, is the slightly reduced blade stock thickness at 3.2 millimeters. 4 millimeters blade stock is what's more typically seen on production Shiros, and previous slim models, like the F95 Slim, feature a 3.5 millimeter blade stock. So 3.2 millimeter, gosh, that's that's super slim. And the way Shiros are ground, they've never really had a problem with being slicey, but I think this one has the potential of being even more so, thanks to that blade stock. Now, turning to the clip side of the knife, we do see a carbon fiber inlay. It's an insert of the same material used on the presentation side, and it appears to be identical to how the clip side of the F95 RNL that's previously reviewed here on the channel appears in terms of how the inlay is done. This looks really identical to the F95 RNL. Now, keep in mind that the big three kind of pillars of the Shirogorov catalog are the F95, the F3, and the Hottie. What differentiates them are the handle materials that are used in those models. The F95 is full titanium on both sides, the F3 is carbon fiber on both sides, and the Hottie is carbon fiber on the presentation side, and again, titanium on the clip side. I talked about this before in my review of the Hottie R, but before my descent into madness with Shirogorov knives, my objective really was to just get one Shirogorov, just a nice Hottie. That one really appealed to me, and this particular knife really fits that bill. The flipper action of the blade is slightly different than other Shiros that I've owned. It's pretty nice, and I will say that I'm no doubt spoiled I've had several high-end Shiro collectors handle my F3NS here, and they've said that it's nearly custom division smooth, and it's just effortless. This Hottie isn't quite as good. It might wear in a little bit. I might need to disassemble it and try to lubricate it a little bit more. But the Detent does feel slightly heavier than the Detent on other Shiros that I've handled, and it does take quite a bit of provoking to get it to drop shut. It's not bad by any means. It's just not like any of the other Shiros that I've handled that have been through my collection. I've not compared notes with anyone in the community that also owns one of these to see if what I'm experiencing is unique to mine. Now, in terms of the other accessories which come with the knife, the Kova pouch is quite nice. I have a Shirogorov toolkit that again is previously reviewed here on the channel, which also comes with a Kova pouch, and again it's quite nice. The quality is really impressive. You can see it's kind of a distressed finished leather, and it's just very, very well made. I like it a lot. There are some situations where carrying a knife in a leather pouch like this are really quite handy. Previously I've used a Chris Reeve large Sabenza pouch for this same purpose, and I still might do so with this knife in order to keep the Kova pouch minty mint. But it's just a really cool accessory, I think, and the fact that it has a spot in the pouch to place the High-Tech's coin, that's just icing on the cake. That's really, really neat. Now, speaking of which, I'm really digging this titanium High-Tech's poker chip style coin that comes with the knife. I will admit to being a real sucker for challenge coins because I love product photography, and they make such great props or accessories to use when you're composing a Shirogorov knife photo. The only slight bummer here, and this is a nitpick, is that the finish color of the coin is more of an aged brass color, and it doesn't exactly match to my eye to the titanium backspacer that's on the knife itself. This is a little darker, this is a little brighter, more coppery, if that's a word. I'm actually not certain of the materials used for the coin. It might actually be brass, or it could be bronze. It's hard to say. The knife itself has a much slimmer profile in the pocket than either the F95 and especially the F3, which can be a little bit chunky. It's also a bit lighter in weight. Now, my F3R is 4.62 ounces in weight, and my F3NS is slightly heavier at 4.66 ounces. But this new Hottie weighs in at just 4.13 ounces, and that's about a half an ounce less than either of those other knives I just mentioned. I'm generally okay carrying inside the pocket with anything under 5 ounces, but the Hottie, being slimmer and lighter, does carry particularly well. And because it has an entirely carbon fiber presentation side and a clip side with that kind of chaotic style stonewash finish, this is going to resist showing wear extremely well, making it ideal for EDC carry. So the question for me is, will I keep this knife? And that's a really tough question to answer. On one hand, it's an expensive knife. I believe that these knives went for about $1,500 from Recon 1 to, again, anyone who bought a ticket for the show, which is actually a pretty darn good deal, relatively speaking, when you add up everything that you get with the package. Based on recent pricing, it looks like the new Hottie goes for $1,100, the new Gen 3 Hottie. So the knife itself, if you buy just the regular production version, that's $1,100. And High-Tech's is providing limited batches of these coins that they're releasing that Recon One and others are selling, and they go for about $300 themselves. Now you tack on a few bucks for the COVID pouch, and suddenly that $1,500 show price is looking like a bargain for a knife that's limited to just 50 production examples, and it's in a non-standard blade steel. And the configuration, with this particular carbon fiber scale doesn't otherwise exist. I've seen these going for about $2,400 on authorized dealer websites that have them. Not many do, of course, because again, there's only 50. Now, on the other hand, it would sell, in probably seconds if I put it up for sale, and I could just bide my time to track down both a regular production Gen 3 Hottie and a High-Tech's coin, which is really what I like apart in this package. I do have a variety of other things laying around that I could probably sell to recoup the purchase costs, so I have to confess that I'm leaning toward keeping this beauty. It's pretty awesome. Well, there you have it. There's my review of the Spring California Custom Knife Show edition of the Gen 3 Hottie. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next video.
I hope you've enjoyed this production from the Through My Lens YouTube channel. If you did, please click on the like button and do share the video on social media. If you'd like to see more content like it, please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and do check out Through My Lens at www.throughmylens.org.